Hello! We are 237 days from the year of the Rhythm Rapture, and today we're back home at Tengoku. There's been a lot of Tengoku and Megamix content, but I kind of want to save Rhythm Heaven Gold a little bit. I kind of want to preserve, because that game doesn't have as much stuff to do, but it's so unique and is so deserving of its own time, so I want to give it some time, and thus I'm kind of grinding away at these longer ones, namely Megamix and Tengoku, with the drum lessons and the challenge train and stuff. Also, I'm feeling a little bit worn out today, so no face cam, but you do get to see this lovely title screen. I mean, even if I'm not bouncing around, look, this game is infinite energy. Even the letters are just bouncing around to the music. And the logo. And the press A button. Oh, that's bliss. That is so cute. I love that. Alright. So today, I thought it would be fun to show off some drum lessons, since I was talking about it last time. So this one says, what is this? This one says basic 1, and basic 2. And then we have some short lessons. The short ones are relatively short, but still kind of long, so we'll just try and get through a couple today. We'll just see what we can do. I'll show you the basic concept. In fact, I will show off the buttons so I can show you exactly how this works. It's going to involve these two up here, all these face buttons, and all these directions. So let's check it out. So he's explaining it right now. Of course, we can't really read his explanation, but he's just hitting his little snare drum. How do you do that? Well, you can use A or left on the D-pad. You can see my timing on the top based on how on point I am. Turns green when I'm totally on the beat. Turns yellow when I'm slightly late or early. And there you go. You just perform the beat correctly enough times and you level up. And as you can see, they get progressively more complex. Now I'm adding in some 16th notes. And a 4, 2, 3, and a 4. And you get a little applause and a thumbs up from the guy. This is like the mascot of this game. He's a samurai drummer. He's got the top knot and everything. And this is you. Which apparently, I just learned the other day, apparently the community mistakenly refers to this character as Anata, because in this version of the game, if you, in certain modes, I think maybe when you're listening to music, this guy has some text written under him that says Anata. And so maybe, you could reasonably assume a non-native Japanese speaker would be like, oh, that's this guy's name. It's his little name tag down there. No, Anata just means you in Japanese. Like, the word just literally refers to you. So, much like in most Rhythm Heaven games, when you play as a creature and it says you under it to indicate which of the many creatures on screen you are, same thing with this guy. It's just you. And we have quite a dapper little paperboy cap on. And a vest. Ah, they're really impressed with that one. And yeah, it's just playing little beats. These ones are extremely, extremely basic. Not probably too interesting to watch, to be honest. But you can watch my fingers and how dexterously they move. And sadly, you only ever play to this, oh, I got an A rank. So the goal would be to get all S ranks. I'm not going to worry about that right now. Maybe off screen I'll do it. But yeah, you get this little bass line, you're just playing to that. Not too much music, sadly, but later you can apply these lessons. You can play them in the music listening studio, as we saw in one of the previous episodes. Alright, now we're adding a new drum. It's time for the bass drum. And you just press B for that, or down on the D-pad. There you go. And we just add on some more beats. Oh no, now we're adding a snare drum. And there's a little cowbell behind the bass line to keep you in time. This one's really just, it's about keeping rhythm. And there is some dexterity involved in pressing all the buttons later on, because as you can see, we have 3 cymbals on this thing, a tom drum, and a snare. You do use all of these buttons eventually to make some pretty cool beats, actually. It gets like decently complex later on. So I know this is like Snooze Town. Like, we're basically just watching 2 buddies just hang out at this point, just casually, but later it gets real. Later they're basically just rehearsing for a rock concert. Also, like, where are we? I want... This, I guess, could be conceived like a stage. Like, maybe this is the top of the stage, and this is, like, the empty, like, where people would stand, you know? And then these are, like, lights coming down and more lights, but I don't know why. Can somebody tell me if they see this? I always thought this looked like a subway station. Not Subway Eat Fresh. Subway the public transportation. Doesn't it kind of look like an underground subway station? Think about it for a second. I mean, maybe it's just the colors. Maybe it's just because it all looks like concrete and it's kind of bland. And this kind of looks like the lines in concrete when it's poured. And also, like, that's where the train would go, right? The train would zoom past in this, like, dark gray area. That's where the tracks are hidden. And then I think it's partially this level up thing in the background, too. Just that movement forward just, I don't know, makes me feel like I'm about to get picked up. Maybe it's just because a lot of life's, a lot of society's greatest musical battles have occurred on subways. Hey, there we go. I got an S. S for super good at the drums. And we'll try one of the short ones. I don't know how complicated this is going to be. We'll give it a try. It's not a subway, I know, fellas, but it just kind of looks like that. My headcanon is that we're just playing for the public. Like, yeah, like one of those drummers that just, like, hangs out on the street and, like, accepts donations in a bucket or something. That's what this feels like. Just, like, public performance art. I like that the samurai drummer is a lot smaller than you, and so he also gets a much tinier version of your drum set. He's, like, closer to the camera, and it's still minuscule compared to ours. I wonder if they actually make smaller drum sets like that in real life. Surely everybody's got to have their preferences. Like, of what would be comfortable as far as drum size. And, like, it's all modular. You can move everything around to your comfort as well, so make enough sense to me. But would it alter the sound if it were smaller? Well, according to Rhythm Tengoku, it would not alter the sound, like, at all. Actually, it does alter it slightly. I don't know if that's because of the size, but the, like, pitch is slightly different of the drums. The quality. Anyone else hearing that? Listen. The bigger one sounds fuller, right? I'm right about that? This is one of those things where they probably could have made it more visually interesting, maybe added some elements in the background here. I don't know, just done something to keep you hooked on these lessons. I just think the technique of them is interesting, and there is always, of course, the fact that you could just go, stagio, studio? Am I reading that wrong? I don't know, whatever. I'm sorry. I'm embarrassing myself with my Japanese right now. I'm not turned on at this moment, but, like, you know, you get cute backgrounds when you actually listen to the music. I don't know. I think the backgrounds are kind of fun. I wish they could have done those during the lessons, but I guess I can understand why not. Maybe they were trying to motivate you to use the studio more often and actually goof around with some of the music or whatever. It's fun, so I ain't gonna blame it too much. Anyway, just beating down the drum every day from now on until the rapture, as is ritual for us, isn't it?